Aries, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Chandler. This is your intuitive energy reading for this week. Aries, you guys have been on my mind for a few days. Okay, it's been about 2 or 3 days that I've been a little under the weather, which I haven't been able to record because of, but even through the weekend, when I was feeling okay, you guys were really on my mind, but for whatever reason, there was just an energy that I couldn't make out, and I kind of hesitated doing your reading because there is a lot going on around you, I feel like, that is a little bit unclear. You could kind of feel like some doors are opening, some doors are closing day by day. It could feel good, it could feel not so good. Whoever I'm picking up on, I do feel a slight hesitance from you to just move forward in a certain direction. You're second guessing yourself or something along those lines, which is a pervading energy surrounding you for whatever reason. So it's maybe creating a little bit of resistance, which I definitely feel, okay? And we do need to sort of resolve that because progress can't be made. You're not going to feel productive. You're not going to feel, like you're really a go-getter this week if we don't clarify some of those things that are maybe creating that resistance in your life, right? So this won't be for all of you. Of course, this is a general reading. This is just for those who need the advice. This could work for you if you have a sun, moon, rising, or Venus in the sign of Aries. And of course, if you're a cross-watcher, you guys know, feel free to switch up or reverse the roles completely. If it's resonating but you need to switch up the characteristics, please do so. I wrote down a few notes, okay? So, although I was feeling you guys over the weekend and, you guys have been on my mind, I had a general sense of this resistance and this energy. But I think during my meditation, it may have brought a little bit more information through that could resonate with even a smaller group of you guys. Okay, so just to narrow down a scenario, my guides gave me the word alligator, and I had to look up the spiritual or metaphysical animal totem for this animal. Initially, I got the phrase shark in the water. Okay, so alligator, shark in the water, you could be dealing with a water sign. You could be in a sort of emotionally sticky scenario because, of course, I do feel a slight sense of threat or agitation with this energy. Shark in the water is, of course, maybe you feeling targeted by someone, pinpointed, or, attacked or threatened by an individual. Who could feel really elusive, kind of slippery, slimy energy there. Also, alligator is sort of clamped shut, okay? So they're not saying it. There's not maybe direct communication. There's maybe quite a bit of confusion or drama about a specific individual who may have acted as a shark in either a friendly setting, could have been a relationship or a group setting. Essentially, alligator represents keen vision, okay? So I do feel like with all the planets assisting you, we have Mercury having gone direct, which is, really helping this progress and helping us evolutionize beyond this contemplative energy we've been in. So it's this direct motion or action after full disclosure is made that you can really hone in on this week. But I think what alligator is really assisting you is if there are no words, you're going to be able to see clearly. Alligators represent keen vision, okay? So even if this person is sort of not admitting something, maybe they have their, their teeth or their mouth clamped shut about a certain situation, they say, I don't want to talk about it, you're going to be able to feel or sense this, okay? Sense the truth. There could be a slight emotional manipulation going on as well. So if they are talking to you, but they could be sort of evading the point, or if they're just sort of beating around the bush, that's one thing. But emotional manipulation, there's always a spectrum, right? This person could be intentionally making you feel very bad about yourself. They could be intentionally deterring you from things that make you happy because either there's codependency or either there's, some sort of sabotage. When I hear shark in the water, it does sort of make me nervous. It makes me feel like there's a target or a goal in mind. And so I do feel that some of you do have a person or a situation where you really do need this alligator totem to help you see really clearly through those murky waters of what they're telling you, but what your intuition is telling you is something totally different. I also heard rose water. Okay, so some of you are going to be really focused on your heart chakra this week. This rose water energy, I feel like, represented opening up. It could be an opening of your heart chakra, but I also know that rose typically represents tenderness, right? Think of like a flower. It's like you have to be gentle with the rose. So you're trying to be gentle with a certain situation, but I actually think for you, Aries, or the cross watcher who this is resonating with, that tenderness is required with yourself right now. If you do need to take some time away from somebody, then maybe rose water can help sort of clear the air, clear your senses, clear your mind, clear your auras, just so that you can, refresh your batteries, open up to see more clearly. Sometimes when we're just so focused on defending ourselves or getting to the point of something, firstly, we don't have the energy to really recharge the way we should. And then even our senses, our intuition and our clear knowing cannot be so clear, right? When all of this other stuff is going on. I also feel like some of you could be using rosemary. I just caught a strong smell of this. Although it's sitting up in front of me, I don't usually smell it. So maybe rosemary, rose water. That's kind of odd. So rosemary, rose water. I don't know the metaphysics behind rosemary, but you get the drift. It's activating. This is obviously activation for the heart chakra. So some of you are really focusing on that, whether it's through rose water, rosemary, or any other means. It's your heart that's really needing attention. And of course, if there has been emotional manipulation, I'm just getting this intuitively, and your confidence has sort of been shaken. Maybe someone's degraded you. Maybe there's a codependency there, and there's some emotional abuse. You could be really needing to get heart-centered and really focus on your self-worth, rebuilding yourself up, giving yourself some time for self-care, being very tender and honest with yourself about the situation. So we have an interesting message coming through the Sag new moon. We are having a Sagittarius new moon today. Okay, and so I feel like because this is coming through in your energy, you could be feeling it extra strong today. There's a sense of frustration, okay, surrounding you and this situation specifically. I think that some of you are really just wanting it to wrap up, be done with, move forward, and gain the clarity that you need. And yet there's a frustration because you're experiencing resistance. You're experiencing people or situations that sort of muddy your clarity, muddy the direction. But this frustration may also have to do that with that shark in the water energy I felt. Like, when they come around, you just sort of you don't feel easy, you feel uneasy, you feel kind of threatened, or you feel like they're up to something. And that's probably the frustration, is because you may not have a way to prove this, or you may not have valid answers, or, they could be intentionally confusing you. And I think the clarity will come as soon as you get in touch with that lunar energy that the new moon is giving you. Just like Sagittarius is firstly the intuitive fire sign. Of course, Aries, you guys, you're the cardinal fire sign. You guys are the go-getters, the starters of the zodiac. But Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and it does rely more heavily on its intuition and the waters, okay, surrounding its creativity. The ways that it moves forward is a little bit more easygoing potentially with how Sagittarius tends to feel day by day. And, sometimes a shadow Sagittarius can be really disconnected from their emotions. Having a healthy Sagittarius energy relies on having a healthy balance between your ambition and your emotion. And, really following your intuition to that philosophical place of what really resonates with you as an individual. Okay, that's why intuition is going to be so important for you, because I feel like for whoever I'm talking with, you guys could have a strong Sagittarius placement, or you guys could just be feeling these lunar energies. And of course, with any new moon, certain things are needing to come to an end. So a lot of you could be feeling like, this has to come to an end within the next week, maybe even within the next few days. But this is causing a little bit of frustration and agitation, okay? Because you're feeling compelled to move forward. Your intuition is telling you something about this alligator energy or the shark in the water energy. So, trusting your intuition is one thing, but then trust between you and another, or trust in a community or group setting is probably up for question or even a concern as well. Okay, because if there is some messages that may not be so in the light, or maybe there's some conspiring going on, it's a little bit of emotional manipulation going on. And of course, if you have anything like that, then trust is going to be an issue as well. So, let's see if we can get any more for you guys. I don't know who this is resonating with. It could just be for a small group of you. And, of course, I'm hearing you guys ask, if this shark in the water is the Aries or if it's the cross watcher. We all can embody this energy. And so use your discretion to decide who you are. I do feel, because of the alligator and the shark references, very watery creatures, you could be dealing with another fire sign. Fire signs are often associated with reptiles, and then water signs as well, of course. So you decide for yourself, Aries, who is who. One of you could be the shark and one of you could be the alligator. Like, both are very equal in skill sets. However, I do believe they just represent something different here. One feels on the attack. One feels justified. One feels slightly snaky, or kind of like in the dark, or a little bit of a shadowy essence coming from the shark energy. Like, it's a little bit secretive, I would say. So then the alligator is sort of on the opposite end, trying to look at this situation objectively, maybe figure some things out, have a keen vision, or have some things be revealed even through the illusions that are set in place by the shark. And this isn't a pretty situation, you guys. I hope it doesn't resonate with you guys to an extent, but I do feel like it's necessary, because what this Sag new moon is really trying to give you is a fresh new start. And if this is a relationship, and one of you is acting as a shark and one of you is acting as an alligator, that's probably not a very good situation anyways. It's probably not going to work out if you guys are behaving like that in an actual partnership. So, take it as it flies. I really think some of you are deciding to leave situations like this altogether, regardless of how you relate to this person. I just saw 3:14 on the clock. It's actually 13:14, but whenever I see 3:14, yeah, that's pi, of course. But then it's also related to the Fibonacci sequence. So, you guys may be on a different trajectory. There's a lot of change going on, and it could be very subtle. But it's a different trajectory, okay? So we have the Sun and Seven of Cups, seeing past the illusion, right? The Sun is now in Sagittarius. This is the Leo major arcana of the deck. And then with the Seven of Cups, this could either be lies, coercion, emotional manipulation, those muddy waters like we were saying. So definitely some of you watching are the alligator in this situation, where clamped shut, not talking about it, okay, not revealing what you're up to, or not really revealing to others the decision you're making, okay, but you do know, and you understand yourself in the sense that there is a new beginning, okay? You're seeing it very clearly this week, that you need to maybe leave behind having so many options. Whatever these options are, they're not making you happy. Whatever this illusion has been, it's to confuse you or to keep things very hush-hush. And emotional pulling there, emotional manipulation. So when we have the Sun in front of it, that's really reassuring that you're going to be just fine. You have a brand new beginning here for you, Aries. And maybe take a little bit of time this week to collect your thoughts about how you're going to move forward, because a lot of the time the sun does represent destiny. A lot of the time sun does represent childhood, new beginnings, maturity, personal growth. It does feel like there could be some codependency surrounding you in a given relationship. Even if someone just, wants to be friends, it's like that's maybe the frustration is just you don't like how things have gone in the past with this person. You don't think you want to be mean. But yeah, there's just, you realize that something's not working, and you just need to collect your thoughts about it a little bit, and be honest with yourself. Again, this tenderness of the heart, it's really having a heart opening. Of course, the sun, Leo, rules the heart center, okay? The center of the galaxy, the heart center. When you're in touch with this energy, anything is possible, okay? There's a real optimistic energy coming through. Like, you already kind of know this is going to be really good for you. And it may be good for the other person too, but I feel like they don't see it. They don't see it. They're like, what? You're going to do me like that? You're going to put me in that position? Or, it just feels very uncomfortable. It feels kind of like, sabotaging to both of your happinesses. If this is both of you, why stay in a relationship like that is kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, as the sun represents the heart chakra, you're really getting in touch with your heart. This is the only way that all of these questions here are going to be illuminated for you. For a lot of you, that's exactly how it's going to work. When we get out of our mind about how we feel, this isn't going to work. You're trying to intellectually figure out a problem of the heart, a problem of emotions, right? So maybe taking some time to gather your thoughts, really collect your thoughts, because I do see maybe an overwhelm or a sense of confusion with which direction to go. But at the end of the week, I would say you guys should be fairly sure of this direction. Okay, there may be an opportunity that presents itself as well. It's funny, I saw this skull on this cup for the first time today. This is a man basically looking at all of his options. Okay, there's lots of options here for him to choose. He's overwhelmed. He's in the dark about how he feels, which is why one option doesn't necessarily stand out any more than any of the others. But with this skull, it's almost a weird energy, like I'm getting you at least know what option not to choose. Okay, there's something very clear about that. All right, you just know what option isn't gonna work. If that's at least what you know, then you're still on the right track. Okay, so the Chariot. Wow, some of you are definitely dealing with a water sign. Okay, some of you are definitely dealing with a water sign. Look at all the water we have. We have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces in these three cards, and we have Sagittarius, Leo, Jupiterian energy of these two major arcana. We also have the Chariot, which is another major arcana. Simply enough, from this Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Cups, and the Chariot in reverse, this is really choosing not to move forward. Like a situation, a relationship has ended. It's ended. It's no longer moving forward. It's not a question. Very sure about this. You're very sure that at least that one option, right? At least that one option. I mean, okay, I can understand the confusion over the cups that really look similar here, Aries, but there's one cup with a skull on it. Okay? Like, are we clear there? There's just one option that you know is not going to work. And I think that this is that energy. I'm picking up a feminine energy here that is emotionally manipulative, okay? That really puts illusions in front of you. And I think, honestly, Aries, if we're just being very frank, I think this person makes you second guess yourself a lot. Like they're very codependent. The Queen of Cups is codependent, emotionally manipulative, needy, obsessive, consuming. They are intuitive, but in a sort of manic way. Okay, they could be slightly paranoid. Okay, that's the sort of energy I'm getting, is that they're paranoid here, and maybe it's just a situation that's turned toxic because there's not been a development of any trust. There could have actually been maneuvers to sabotage a situation, sabotage happiness, which we've seen a lot during Scorpio season. But yeah, you're not moving forward with this, and I think, in fact, the Wheel of Fortune, the 10, is this situation has just turned so unfortunate. It's just turned so unfortunate you're not happy here. The High Priestess. We have another Piscean watery energy. 10 of Pentacles and the Tower on the bottom of the deck. 10 of Pentacles is in reverse. This may be a community dynamic. This could be a long-standing relationship, someone who you've been with for a long time. It could be comfortable. It could be comfortable. It could be, something. I think the High Priestess is kind of showing me here is that you already know the direction you want to go in, but you're not talking about it. And maybe toward the end of the week, we have 2 10s on the deck. We have 2 7s on the deck. And then we have the Tower. So it just sort of shows me, like, if you can't move forward with this one option, if you don't know anything else, you know at least what option not to go with. I think that may be the clarity that you're receiving this week. And unfortunately, that's the case, but I think fortunately as well, it does present a lot of really optimistic energies shortly after. Aries, we could have your own energy here with the Tower. Okay, this is Mars energy. We also have Mars in Scorpio, which is bringing up those hidden truths. And, last month there was a lot of truths that were coming up about other people, about sabotaging energies surrounding us, maybe in our environment or our community. But this Mars in Scorpio, and especially since we're now in the Sagittarius new moon energy, I think the truths are going to be coming from within us. It may be even harder in that aspect for some, because Aries, you're going to have to be really, you're going to have to just be really in touch with your own intuition, with your own self. And that's what this High Priestess is saying. Like, you may not know everything, but what you do know is coming straight through your intuition. It's very subconscious. It's very psychic. Okay. So, this may be that alligator energy. It's not necessarily a negative energy, though alligators could be considered, a predator of sorts. But I think you're actually mirroring this person. Whoever you're dealing with, you're having to mirror them because they are so manipulative. That in one sense, if you're dealing with a water sign who is a manipulative, you're seeing through, this High Priestess is the holder of truth. So you're seeing through their lies. You're seeing through the falsities of their sabotaging efforts, because when we have the 10 of Pentacles and the Tower, this is truly something that was never going to last long term. Okay, whatever true colors you see in this person or this situation, it just shows how much is at stake and how much potentially you've already lost on them. Which brings this Tower moment, because it's just a truth you can't deny any longer. You realize you're not going to get to the 10 of Pentacles in a situation like this, Aries. I'm sorry if you're the Aries or the Crosswatcher. It's just very simple. It's very clear after this week. So some of you are, letting go of relationships that you may have been in for a while, though I'm actually, it's funny because I'm not sensing a lot of love. Like, that's maybe why I think the heart chakra kept coming up so much in the beginning, because your heart may have been closed for so long and you just didn't realize it. Like, there's something about just not even realizing here, the warmth and the prosperity and the love and the personal growth that comes from being in touch with your core, getting to the center of how you feel about this without all of the questions, the confusions, the obligations, the responsibilities. At the very least, Aries, you're going to be narrowing down to what option you're not going to go for this week. what option is not going to work. You know, and that's a really clear one. You may not know where you're going. You may not know what's going to happen beyond that, but you know something here with one individual specifically, or maybe multiple individuals, is no longer vibing with you, and it's not going to get you where you want to go. It could be it could be just a grander theme or scheme that you're making a decision upon, but at the very least, it's clarity over what isn't working. Okay? So I hope that this resonated with you. We're going to take this into the clarity. I'm actually going to use my Lover's Path Tarot. I haven't used it in a long time, and I was called to use it for this because I do feel like some of you are dealing with a relationship that's just turned sour, toxic. There's really not a lot of love or understanding or trust, and so we're going to have to sort of hash that out in the clarity, and see what's going to happen. I mean, we already know sort of what's happened. We already see how frustrating it's been, you know, having this person constantly berate you with negativity or, you know, codependency. You know, they essentially lack confidence. This Queen of Cups is essentially very insecure, and so they want you to be insecure too. They want you not to really believe in your power so that you don't go anywhere. You know, like it's that kind of relationship I'm sensing. Like one of you is absolutely the shark, one of you is absolutely the alligator. So you get to decide who you're being, but you're matching this person because it could be just a really sticky situation you're in. So you have to sort of have your armor up. You have to have that thick skin of the alligator, and then also you have to really trust your intuition and really see through this person, see through their emotional games. And finally, we have the Hermit. So you do go into isolation toward the end of the week to figure this out. You realize that there's a significant ending in your life. And what the Hermit represents is the Virgoan energy of learning from the past. You know, looking at this path behind you and all the things that you've learned from it. It actually is a wealth of wisdom here, Aries. So I'm not concerned about you at all, but I instead of looking at the past like the Hermit and you are going to be doing, we're going to look toward the future. We're going to look more in depth to the sun. And where these opportunities lie, you know, once you release this resistance and start following your intuition, there's definitely advice coming through for you. Okay, so thank you so much, Aries. I will see you next time. Bye.